It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
You know, kind of going back into my previous point. Number one, tailoring your expectations and starting smaller sooner.
Yep.
There's enough homes out here for everybody.
Yeah.
And granted, you don't necessarily want these big, you know, hedge funds and firms and all these kind of things buying up the homes, and because they'll buy them oftentimes at a higher, you know what I'm saying, amount, or even sometimes they'll buy them in bulk and they'll buy them for less. But now they're the ones, you know, on the ownership side of things, and it could create a bottleneck. I would say, you know, I've recently was helping a client, and we were trying to buy a home from one of these big conglomerate groups that it was like, hey, it will take 60 days to pull it out of the fund or whatever, you know, the portfolio. And then you can't talk to somebody on the other end of the thing. It's just, I mean, we wasted a whole month just trying to get in actual consistent contact with this person. So that could be a problem because now it hurts not only just wasting my time as the real estate practitioner, but also on top of that, you really reduce some of the fatigue that a buyer has, you know what I'm saying, and in that space, and that they could be able to say, man, is this how this goes? And I've had to really educate them multiple times. This is not regular. This is not normal. And once we moved on from that home and then got in contact with an actual agent who actually wanted to sell their home, not just list a home, it moved a lot faster and quicker. So there's realms of like, okay, well, all the homes that they end up buying are oftentimes not everything, you know. And on top of that, there's enough. Let's get the one across the street. There's more, like there's more out there than just what they're buying. And in where we're at in Metro Atlanta, well, I'm not personally seeing that in great volume. You know, versus here where we're at. You know, we got the custom home builders who are, or the, you know, more the production home builders who are building this stuff and selling it out to the market, the public. So it's a yes and a no. It's a grand scheme. It's a macro kind of economic thing that we have to be aware of, because they then buy low when, you know what I'm saying, when things are tough. And then of course they want to hold on to it, sell high. So it's just, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, buy the home that you can, you know, and kind of, yes, everything's going to impact everything. But if you stop, look, and I don't want to use the word victim, but like if you say, okay, well, let me move on to a, you know, more green pastures and figure out a different way for me to go about doing a thing. And that oftentimes gets at the same point that I'm hitting of like, well, what can you afford? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, forget what is it that they can do, and the house that you thought that you wanted. Okay, if the house that you thought that you wanted is now not in your price range, well, what can we do? You know, and that's the place that I want people to remind themselves of, like, hey, we can throw, you know what I'm saying, we could cry all day long. If I walk into, you know what I'm saying, my sandwich place and they don't have turkey today, either I want a sandwich or I don't. You know what I'm saying? Right. If I'm gonna move, and I personally, if they don't have turkey in there, I'm gonna move on to a different place. But nonetheless, that's fine. You know, figure out what is it that you can do with what you have to then be able to go forth and get the goal that you really want, which, if you want to buy real estate and you want to grow your wealth and you want to raise your family and create memories in you guys' own home, well, then let's find the next house.